In this podcast, we will explore products distributed by Cotelec, a French leader in the component testing market. PROVERTHA is a family-owned German company specializing in the manufacturing of connectors and cables. It provides connectivity solutions for demanding networks, particularly in the railway, industrial, automotive, and medical sectors. The company offers a wide range of D-Sub and M12 connectors, as well as accessories and cable manufacturing services. PROVERTHA products are distributed by Cotelec. For any information, please contact Cotelec engineers.
Wow, okay, this is quite the stack of stuff. You weren't kidding when you said you were going deep on PROVERTHA, huh? I see catalogs, articles, looks like all things connectors. Are we building a robot today or something?
You know, not quite a robot, but you're getting close. PROVERTHA really seems to focus on connectors that can handle some pretty tough conditions, like industrial strength stuff.
Okay, so we're talking more like factory floors than robot butlers.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is that they've been around for a while, over 40 years, which is pretty impressive for a tech company, especially a family-owned one.
So they must be doing something right. 40 years, that's what, like dog years in the tech world?
Pretty much. But it shows they're not just chasing the latest trends. They're really focused on building a reputation for quality and, long-lasting solutions.
Reliability. That's what we like to hear. Speaking of which, you sent over a ton on their D-Sub connectors. Those seem kind of old school though, right? Like something you'd find in a vintage computer museum.
Well, you're not wrong about the vintage part. That D-Sub shape, the trapezoid thing, that's been around forever. But with PROVERTHA, think of it like they took that classic design and brought it into the 21st century. They use them for all sorts of applications, both for cables, A&D, right on circuit boards.
Okay, so classic design, modern tech, got it. But even I was surprised by all the different types of D-Subs they offer. I mean, we're talking crimp, solder, even ones with filters. What's the deal with those? Are we filtering out the bad data now?
Not exactly. Okay, so imagine you're trying to have a conversation in a really noisy place, like a rock concert or something.
Been there.
Right. It's almost impossible to hear anything over all that noise, yeah.
Tell me about it.
So in the world of electronics, you have something similar going on. You have all these invisible waves called EMI and RFI, which can interfere with data signals. Think of them like the noise at a concert. And the filtered D-Sub connectors, those are like noise-canceling headphones for your data. They help block out that interference and make sure the signal stays clean.
So basically, it's like giving your data a VIP pass to bypass all the chaos.
Exactly. It's about ensuring reliable data transfer even in the most demanding environments.
It's kind of critical, right? I mean, we rely on data for everything these days.
Absolutely. And when you're talking about things like, say, high-speed trains or automated factories.
Where one tiny glitch could spell disaster.
Exactly. That's where PROVERTHA's focus on safety and reliability really comes into play. They're not just connecting things. They're making sure those connections are rock solid.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so moving on from data VIPs, I noticed you also included some info on their D-Sub hoods, which, and no offense, I thought we were talking about connectors, not fashion accessories.
Yeah, no, these hoods are a little more practical than that. Think of them as like protective shells for the connectors themselves. And PROVERTHA's really gone above and beyond to make them easy to assemble, even in tight spaces. They even have this cool push-pull locking system.
Push-pull, so like...
Imagine a really satisfying click, and you just know it's securely connected. No more fumbling around in the dark.
I like it. So you're telling me I can install these connectors blindfolded?
Well, maybe not blindfolded, but you get the idea. It's all about making the user experience as smooth and foolproof as possible.
All right, so the D-Sub, a classic with a modern twist. I'm sold. But what about this M12 connector I keep hearing about? Is that like the D-Sub's cooler, younger sibling or something?
You could say that. Yeah, the M12 is definitely a step up in terms of ruggedness. It's designed for even harsher environments than the D-Sub, and PROVERTHA has put a lot of effort into making theirs incredibly resistant to things like vibration and electromagnetic interference.
Okay, hold on. Back up a sec for those of us who don't speak electrical engineer. What kind of interference are we talking about here? Is that like when your phone gets too close to a speaker?
Kind of. Remember those invisible waves I mentioned earlier, the EMI and RFI?
Or the concert noise.
Exactly. So the M12 connectors, especially the ones PROVERTHA makes, are designed to block that stuff out. They've got 360-degree shielding, so those waves don't stand a chance.
360 degrees. Talk about having your back. And I'm guessing that level of protection is kind of crucial in the places these connectors are used?
Absolutely. You sent over some examples: railway systems, automated factories, even some medical equipment. These are all places where a single dropped signal could have some pretty big consequences.
Right, we're not talking about a cat video buffering here. This is serious stuff.
Precisely. And that's why PROVERTHA's focus on quality and reliability is so important in these industries.
In this podcast, we will explore products distributed by Cotelec, a French leader in the component testing market. PROVERTHA is a family-owned German company specializing in the manufacturing of connectors and cables. It provides connectivity solutions for demanding networks, particularly in the railway, industrial, automotive, and medical sectors. The company offers a wide range of D-Sub and M12 connectors, as well as accessories and cable manufacturing services. PROVERTHA products are distributed by Cotelec. For any information, please contact Cotelec engineers.
So they're like the unsung heroes of keeping our trains running on time, our factories humming, and well, you get the picture.
Exactly. They may be small, but these connectors are playing a big role in our increasingly connected world.
So how do they actually make these connectors so darn reliable? I saw something in the materials about their crimping technology for the M12s. And I'm not going to lie, the word crimping just makes me think of bad hair days.
Haha. Well, luckily, PROVERTHA's crimping technology is a lot more impressive than a bad hair day, basically.
Okay, so not my grandma's crimping iron. Got it.
Oh.
But seriously, what makes their crimping so special?
Well, it's all about creating a connection that's practically bulletproof. We're talking about vibration-proof, interference-proof, the whole 9 yards. Remember, these connectors are going into some pretty intense environments.
Right, the trains, the factories, places where things are, well, moving and shaking.
Exactly. So that crimp isn't just about attaching a wire. It's about making sure that connection is going to hold up under pressure no matter what.
Okay, starting to see why they call it industrial strength now. But even with all the technical talk, I gotta say, it's pretty cool to think these connectors are enabling some seriously impressive technology.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about the backbone of modern industry here. High-speed trains wouldn't be possible without reliable data transfer between all the different systems.
And don't even get me started on factories. I mean, I can barely keep track of a grocery list, and they've got robots and sensors all working together in perfect harmony.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. And none of it would be possible without these small but mighty connectors.
It's like they're the unsung heroes of the industrial world.
Yeah.
Quietly keeping everything running smoothly behind the scenes.
You said it. Although I think most of us would definitely notice if those connections suddenly disappeared. Imagine the chaos.
Okay, don't even go there. I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it. But hey, that's why we have PROVERTHA, right? They're the silent guardians of our connected world.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual connectors either. They also do complete cable assemblies, which is huge for their clients.
Cable assemblies. So they're like a one-stop shop for all your connection needs.
Precisely. Instead of sourcing connectors from one place and cables from another, you can get everything from PROVERTHA, all made to their high standards.
Streamlining the process and guaranteeing that everything plays nicely together. I like it.
Yeah.
But do they just do, like, standard cables? Or can they get a little fancy?
Oh, they can definitely get fancy. They can do high volume runs of standard cables, no problem. But they also have the expertise to create custom solutions for pretty much any application you can think of.
So if you need a cable that's like extra long or has some super specific shielding,
They've got you covered. They can do special lengths, unique shielding, overmolding for added toughness, the whole shebang.
wow, okay, that's pretty impressive. Sounds like they're not just keeping up with technology, they're actually ahead of the curve.
They definitely seem to have their finger on the pulse. They understand that as technology advances, the demands on data transfer are only going to increase.
Or for sure. Everything is about data these days. Faster, more data, over longer distances.
Exactly. And it's not enough to just cram more data through a cable. It also has to get there reliably. No interruptions, no errors, no dropped signals.
Yeah, that's the difference between a self-driving car smoothly navigating traffic and, well, disaster.
Precisely. And those kinds of high-stakes applications are quickly becoming the norm.
Okay, so we've established that reliable data connections are non-negotiable in today's world. But what about this M8 connector?
In this podcast, we will explore products distributed by Cotelec, a French leader in the component testing market. PROVERTHA is a family-owned German company specializing in the manufacturing of connectors and cables. It provides connectivity solutions for demanding networks, particularly in the railway, industrial, automotive, and medical sectors. The company offers a wide range of D-Sub and M12 connectors, as well as accessories and cable manufacturing services. PROVERTHA products are distributed by Cotelec. For any information, please contact Cotelec engineers.
We haven't given that one much love.
Oh, you're right. We can't forget about the M8. Think of it
Like the M12's even smaller, even more rugged little brother.
You got it. It's all about getting that same level of performance and reliability in a package that's even more compact.
Which is pretty important when you're talking about, like, squeezing connectors into tight spaces, right?
Absolutely. Think about all the sensors and actuators in a modern factory. Space is at a premium, but you can't compromise on the quality of the connections. That's where the M8 really shines.
So it's like small but mighty. Kind of reminds me of those tiny but super strong ants.
I like that analogy. And just like those ants, the M8 is capable of handling some pretty heavy lifting when it comes to data transfer.
Okay, so we've got the M12 for those really demanding applications, the M8 for when space is tight, but performance is still key. PROVERTHA really seems to have all the bases covered.
They definitely seem to have a connector for every occasion, and they're constantly innovating and developing new solutions. And speaking of innovation, we haven't even touched on their work with fiber optic connectors.
Oh, right, fiber optics. That's a whole other level of speed and bandwidth, right?
Yeah.
We're not just talking about connecting machines anymore. We're talking about building the networks of the future.
Exactly. And PROVERTHA is right there on the forefront, developing fiber optic connectors that are designed to handle the massive amounts of data that future technologies will demand.
So it's like they're future-proofing our connections, making sure we're ready for whatever technological marvels come next. That's pretty impressive.
It really is. And it all comes back to that same dedication to quality and reliability that we've been talking about. Whether it's a classic D-Sub connector keeping a factory running smoothly, or a cutting-edge fiber optic connector enabling the next generation of high-speed networks, PROVERTHA is committed to making sure those connections are rock solid.
Well said. And on that note, I think we've successfully navigated our deep dive into the world of PROVERTHA. We've gone from classic D-Sub connectors to the mighty M12s, explored the tiny but powerful M8, and even gotten a glimpse into the future of fiber optics.
We've seen how their commitment to quality, reliability, and innovation is not only shaping the connector industry, but also enabling advancements in everything from transportation to automation and beyond.
It's amazing to think that something as small as a connector can have such a big impact on our world.
Indeed. It's a testament to the power of engineering and the importance of those often overlooked components that keep our world connected.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to unplug for today. Until next time, keep those connections strong.
In this podcast, we will explore products distributed by Cotelec, a French leader in the component testing market. PROVERTHA is a family-owned German company specializing in the manufacturing of connectors and cables. It provides connectivity solutions for demanding networks, particularly in the railway, industrial, automotive, and medical sectors. The company offers a wide range of D-Sub and M12 connectors, as well as accessories and cable manufacturing services. PROVERTHA products are distributed by Cotelec. For any information, please contact Cotelec engineers.